Good, I'm looking for it.
Another organization that I belong to, if you're a junior member.
You need assistant sergeant at arms.
Another organization that I belong to, if you're a junior member, 40 and under, your cost to be a member, your dues and your subscriptions are less than what, I guess, the senior members would be.
Okay.
And you can also have senior members sponsor the junior members to help with the cost. Or possibly do some fundraisers to help the junior members so that the cost isn't an issue. Because junior members have a lot of energy and they can provide a lot if they can be there, but maybe the cost is what is prohibiting younger members to be there.
I have a question. What constitutes a junior member?
I would say 40 and under.
Okay. I'm just curious.
Inconvenient meeting time.
Inconvenient meeting time. That's one of the other reasons.
We have another one.
What's another one? Yes, sir.
Well, I don't think I need this. I think that idea of the junior member is pretty good, but maybe not by age demographic. You know, see if your club would go for the idea of the club sponsoring people who are from 0 to 4 years in Rotary, paying part of their way, bring them in.
Okay. What's another thing that she didn't like? I'm trying to get you to think. Think about your children, your grandchildren.
The work, the service projects.
They like it or they don't like it?
Somewhere in between.
Somewhere in between. Somebody over here said they are the mean generation, the me generation. Let me share an article with you that I'd like to share. If any of you would like a copy of this, check with Gene. No, give me your card and I'll be glad to get it to you. It was in Time magazine. It's called A Time to Serve. And I'm going to read one little paragraph to you. People, especially young people, think that the government and the public sphere are broken. They feel they can personally make a difference through community service. After 9/11, Americans, young people, are hungry to be asked to do something, to make some kind of sacrifice, and to remember that they would like to serve. So the young people out there, they want to serve. Now I have another article that I'll share with you of a man that I know. He compared Rotary. Remember, I love Rotary just like you do. But he did something that I read the article, I laughed about it, then I said, what do you think about it? He compared Rotary to General Motors. Now think about that for just a second. I'm seeing some people now starting to shake their head. Is that a valid comparison? He compared Rotary to General Motors. Now, why is General Motors failing or has failed? I think they failed.
Failure to adapt.
They haven't changed. What else?
Failure to adapt.
They have failed to adapt. Okay, what else? Yes, sir.
I don't think they were meeting the needs of the public.
Ooh. General Motors failed because his comment was because they didn't meet the needs of the public. In which way?
The product they were selling, the quality of the product.
It's old.
It's old. The models that they were bringing out was not fulfilling our needs.
For a long time, quality.
Quality? Okay.
I think whenever you have power concentrated at the top and you're not taking new ideas broadly across the organization, whether it's a Rotary Club or General Motors, you have stagnation and you've got real trouble.
Okay. Okay. Yes, sir. Operating what?
Operating costs.
Operating cost? Let's look at what happens here. I'm going to give you some statistics. If you were to ask, what percent of Rotary do you think is under 30 throughout the world? What do you think it is?
10%.
15%? 5%? 3%? Survey says 1%. I'm sorry, you had your hand up. You're just waiting again. Okay. 1%. And then, yeah, yes, sir.
One other thing, at least with my son, I know with my son who's 23, they communicate different than we do.
Okay? Example, I have a son, and he just called me a few minutes ago, which was a major event. Because normally when I call my son Brian, or our son Brian, I'll call Brian and say, hey Brian, call Dad. He normally does what? He texts me, no. We want to communicate, we are going to text. There's another thing that young people don't like to do. Do they like to be told to go to a meeting every week? No. My daughter looks at me and says, Dad, you don't have a life. You go to a weekly meeting for 28 years. Dad, you need to find something else in your life. No, sweetheart. What do they like to do? Hang out. They hang. They hang. They don't meet. They hang with each other. And they text and, what's that other, Twitter? Yeah, they're twittering with each other and looping it and all kind of stuff. It scares me what they're doing. But anyway, let's go over some other numbers. 30 to 39 is 10%. 40 to 49 is 23%. This gets ugly, by the way. 50 to 59 is 30%. 60 to 69 is 22%. This is almost hard to believe. And 70% is and above is 14%. Now, I was the chair of our pets 3 years ago. And we had a man that was serving the club president, and he was 103 years old. He had 78 years of perfect attendance. He did a great job. Did a great job. But I asked Earl, I said, Earl, what is your goal for the year? He said, make it to the end of the year. And he did. And he said, Greg, you know, the other goal I have is that I want to make sure that I'm a better president than when I was in 1932. Let's look at this. I'm going to run out of time in a few minutes. But 66% of all Rotarians are over the age of 50. Yes, sir. Back.
One more. Has that demographic changed over the last 20 years?
Has it changed? I do not know the answer.
Because I think it's always scary. Stats are always scary. If the same demographics were there 20 years ago, then we're just basically a moving target, so to speak.
Yeah, and what's going to happen? We're going to die if we don't bring in younger people. You know that, and I do. Yes, sir.
I don't like using the word paradigm shift, but I said it, now it's out of the way. When I came in Rotary, it was like senior executive level people that you brought in. Today's paradigm is that somebody in their garage could be the senior executive of Microsoft. And so we need to look and give respect to the business paradigm that's out there today and look to these under 30s.
Okay. Does all of Rotary have to change?
All Rotary is not the same anyway. I mean, German clubs are very different than American.
Sure they are. Sure they are. But what I will suggest, should we have a different model to offer to the public to join Rotary? Example, our daughter Melanie. Is she looking for, it's not Rotary that's created the problem, it's the model. Should we change for them, or should they change? Are they going to change because, are they going to change? No, I guarantee she's not going to change.
Don't find us.
Guarantee it. Maybe we should offer another model. But let's look at one thing else also. If you go overseas, what is the one thing that overseas that they have that we don't have here?
Dinner clubs.
What's that?
Dinner clubs.
Inner wheel? Okay, inner wheel, but there's another thing.
Dinner clubs. You meet at night.
A what?
You meet at night.
Evening clubs. What's the most popular time in the world to meet for Rotary? 5:30? It's 7 p.m.